Yo, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another knife therapy episode. Today I have something super exciting to share with you, and that is the CJRB Rampart. Guys, I'm really going to be harping on the name here because it's like my third take trying to make this video for you guys. I keep calling it the ram's foot, and I'm just going to jump straight in and tell you why. So a traditional blade shape in the knife industry is actually a ram's foot. And if you can see here on this 93 Great Eastern Cutlery, you can see how the blade actually widens when you get closer to the tip. That is very, very unique, and that is called the ram's foot. So very similar in the blade shape. I'll put them side by side just so you can see. Very, very similar right there, and overall form factor for the blade. And so, yeah, I'm going to try not to call it the ram's foot. It is the Rampart by CJRB. Model number is 1907. So the Rampart is absolutely a phenomenal budget offering from CJRB. If you're not familiar with CJRB, that's a mouthful, say that 5 times. But they are the budget line for artisan cutlery. Just an outstanding quality from them. Everything I've ever got from them is epic. This is D2 steel. And the best part, I save for last. This thing is coming in right now at under $30. So you can get a D2 flipper, pocket knife, deep carry clip, G10 handles, steel liners, copper pivot accent for the pivot ring. I mean, what more can you ask for? Under $30? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not sure there. Super slicey blade. It comes extremely sharp, especially for a $30 knife. I've had much more expensive knives that come not even close to the level of sharpness that you will get out of this thing. So, I don't know right there. If you want it, just you don't want to watch the rest of this video, just take my word for it. It's a good knife and you will enjoy it. But just in case you don't believe me, right now I have this pulled up on my other phone, the CJRB 1907 Rampart Black G10, $29.99. It is in stock. This is at Smoky Mountain Knife Works. This is where I buy all my CJRBs through. They, from my experience, offer the best deals on CJRB. This is not a sponsored video. Obviously, I'm a very, very small YouTube channel. Nobody even knows who I am, except for my awesome subscribers. And thank you to you guys. Really keeping me motivated to do these type of videos. Just a shout out to you real quick. I really, really appreciate you. And if you haven't got in, go check out the Instagram. The 100 subscriber giveaway is still kicking off. You still have a chance to get in for that. But back to the knife. Let's jump in and get some specs out of the way. So these stats are off of Smoky Mountain Knife Works, so we're just going to take their word for it. It's a 3.5-inch blade length. It's got a closed length, which is 4.7, so that's your handle length. And your overall length, if you can do that math, is 8.2 inches. I could not find a weight for this guy, so I actually weighed it myself. This was the first knife on the channel that I actually had to weigh myself, and it came in at 4.09 ounces. So a little more than you would typically go for that ounce per inch on blade length. So a little heavier than that. Carries extremely well in the pocket, guys. With this deep carry clip, it rides really well in the pocket. I didn't have any issues with it. They are not flush mounted screws, and that clip is not inset into the handle. I absolutely have no problem with that, especially with a sub $30 knife. This pretty much blows anything that I've seen away. In my experience, this blows much more expensive knives for fit and finish out of the water. So I've been very, very pleased with it. This thing is almost extremely smooth drop shot. It almost takes no effort whatsoever. It does the work for you. It is a thick blade stock, but they have done such an amazing job on that full flat grind to really taper that down and give you a really thin behind the edge. So this thing slices like nobody's business. The ram's foot blade on this really lends itself useful to utility task. Did everything I needed and more for that type of use. I mean, it just excelled. I was very, very pleased with it, especially the level of sharpness you're getting with this D2 at the price point. I mean, I think it just speaks for itself. The liner, I've seen this with most of the CJRBs, if not all of them, have this chamfered liner there to make it more comfortable to disengage. That is much, much appreciated. This thing just flies open. The detent is perfectly set. It's running on bearings. It's just money, guys. Money, money, money. If you remember, we'll get into size comparisons here. The first CJRB that I ever showed on the channel was the CJRB Centros. Love that knife still. This is in that grayish blue color. Just outstanding. Also D2. Everything I've seen from CJRB guys is just they're knocking it out of the park. So they're just absolutely killing the market, really setting the standard for what a budget knife should be in 2019 and 2020. Very, very pleased with that. Another budget option from a different company. This is the Civivi Praxis. Outstanding knife. Everybody knows the Praxis. Very, very highly praised in the knife market. The Rampart, however, is fairly new. It just recently dropped. There's only a few videos out on YouTube on it, so I would highly encourage you to go check that out. One of my favorite everyday carries so far, this is not in the budget category, but this is the TRM Atom. Amazing, amazing knife. Super thin blade, super thin overall, deep carry clip. So this is what also not exactly flush mounted screws, but the clip is actually inset into the handle. So very, very well done. One, just because it's on the table, this is the Emerson A100 right there. So do I have anything else that I can show you? Last but not least, this is the Gerber fastball. A lot of people are enjoying their Gerber fastballs. There's actually going to be a video on the fastball coming up soon, so stay tuned for that. And I guess, guys, that will do it for our size comparisons. So I have had this probably for a month, 2 months now. It's got a pretty substantial amount of use in it, and I have really, really enjoyed it. One thing I want to talk about on the ergonomic side of things with this knife, and this is not something I typically talk about on my channel because ergonomics vary drastically from person to person, so I don't really want to interject my personal feelings on something that may be absolutely perfect for you when it's not for me. However, this knife flips so well, it really harps on the fidget factor of how much a knife can fill that role for you. And so flipping this thing over and over and over, I actually wore my hand out right here across these two fingers. And I think it's because these liners on the inside are kind of sharp. So as thin of a profile as this back end of this knife is, which is excellent in the pocket, makes carry extremely well. It ends up, your fingers end up dragging on this when you're closing it. So it's like you're pushing your hand together, and then when you're flipping, not really an issue, but I found it's either this, it could be the edge of this clip, it could be the edge of these liners right here, which is what I'm suspecting did it, but it really started to cause some pain to my fingers on the back side of this knife. Not a big issue, I just didn't carry it for a couple days. That went away, and like right now, no issues whatsoever. But if I flip this over and over all day again, I suspect that that pain would come back. And it may not be an issue for you, so I'm just telling you the experience that I had, and it's not a big deal for me. Absolutely would carry this knife every day, not a problem. Absolutely loved it. They just give you so much for your money. And I think CJRB is setting the standard in the industry for what a value production knife should be in the modern era. And so, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please go over to the Instagram, check out the giveaway. Make sure you get entered for that so you have an opportunity. Make sure you subscribe down below. There still should be something around the screen to help you click that subscribe button and make it easy for you. And thank you, as always, for tuning in, and I will see you next week. Peace, guys.